As The Batman hit theaters and I loved it so much, I can't help but already be thinking about the next installment, and that is exactly what we're doing today, so put on your bat ears and let's get into it. Hey Nerdgenic Nation, superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, and today I want to talk about The Batman and what may be coming next for the franchise, as it is all but confirmed to be continuing after a massive opening weekend. And obviously spoilers are ahead, so if you have not seen The Batman, I recommend watching it first and then coming back for this video. So first things first, let's talk about titles. I don't think it should be called The Batman 2. Personally, I loved what Christopher Nolan did by transitioning from Batman Begins to The Dark Knight, though he drastically dropped the ball with The Dark Knight Rises in my opinion. But I would absolutely love if another Batman movie could play on the other Batman nicknames, such as the Caped Crusader. And I know it might sound lame and cheesy at first, but I feel like it would be a step in a good direction for a sequel, rather than just adding a number or a subtitle like Tokyo Drift, Fury Road, or Judgment Day. And I would like to think that the dynamic duo would be used if or when the story evolves to include Robin, but that likely won't happen in this set of movies unless they go beyond 3. Then I could see it potentially happening, but to me the title would have to be something like The Caped Crusader or even The World's Greatest Detective to make it sound more like an adventure film or continue with the detective noir style that this previous film did, or the title could possibly even be related to the next villain in some way. And speaking of villains, there is of course an extensive list to choose from in Batman's rogues gallery, but there are a few that make the most sense to me. The first of which being Hush, as he was alluded to slightly in this movie with one of the journalists that was killed being Edward Elliot, and then the word Hush was shown over his image. This could mean that Thomas Elliot, son of killed Edward Elliot, could come into the fold as Hush. Not to mention that director Matt Reeves did mention Hush as possibly being somebody he would like to do in the future, not saying that that would be the one in the sequel, but it very much alludes to the fact that he could be a viable option. Another really good villain or villains for Batman would be the Court of Owls. We haven't seen them on the big screen yet and would really give another fairly grounded villain for this universe, which once again ties to the Wayne family. However, I'm a little bit hesitant that this might be a little bit too familiar to what just happened in this first film, but I think it would be so awesome to see the Court of Owls have Bruce sort of face his past once again, just a little bit different of a dynamic, but it would also be very refreshing to see them as we've never seen them on screen, so why not? But there's also two villains that I feel like could really play well in this universe, and that's Professor Pig or Victor Zsasz, or maybe even a combo of the both. I feel like these two villains would be absolutely fantastic for this version of Batman to go up against, keeping the world dark, keeping that detective noir story like I said before, and just making it feel more realistic and grounded rather than just some over-the-top villain. But there are also plenty of other big bads who have kind of been ridiculed in the past for some movies rather than others, and who haven't made appearances in quite a long time, or could just use a refresh as we haven't seen them in this world obviously, plus this movie set up a lot of other villains' origin stories. So we could even see the likes of Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, building further on the Joker that was set up, and even the possible return of Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman. As for the story that they would go with, it would very much depend on the villains that they choose. However, I would prefer, unless going with the Court of Owls or Hush, that they very much steer clear of any comic book influence and go with something that feels fresh, but they can also draw some inspiration from if needed. And even if the Court or Hush are the villains to some capacity, given the world that this is taking place in, I feel like a few liberties should be taken and it not be adapted too extensively from any particular source material. Also, if you aren't already following the Rata Lata website from the movie, there is going to be something big happening there within the next few days when the loading screen hits 100%, I'm pretty sure, but I'll make sure to report back if it does end up being something massive. But I've been following along pretty closely, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But either way, I can't wait, and make sure you hit subscribe and ring that bell notification so you don't miss out on whatever happens there. But other than that, those are my thoughts on the Batman sequel and who I think should be involved, the story, and so on. But now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. What would you like to see most in the sequel? Do you want to see an upgrade in the suits or gadgets? What villains would you want to see? Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you miss out on any future content, as we have a lot coming up. And also be sure to give us a follow across social media at Nerdgenic so you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. And if you just so happen to be a very kind citizen of the Nerdgenic community and want to support us even more, check out our recently launched Patreon, as every donation will help us continue to make this channel even better. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out these videos on screen, like my recent review of The Batman, or for you Halo fans, check out this video from Russell where he talks about why he thinks the Halo TV series will be great. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, we really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.